Now let's move on to the subjects of the comboers, who use both the focus insight of the shockers and the turlic currents of the bolters. There are many different ways you can do a combo spec. A combo spec qualifies as you have focus insight and turlic currents. The other way you decide to place your talent points within the trees is up to you. For this sample, I decided to add 2 points into elemental weapons, which increases the passive bonus generated by flame tongue and earth living weapon by an additional 40%, agility to increase the critical strike chance of my spells. I did have it in convection, but then I realized that would screw with focus insight. So for this baseline, I decided to add 2 points to concussion to increase the damage done by my lightning bolt, and therefore the mana gained by an additional 4%. I also decided to take elemental precision to increase my hit rating by 100%. Again, if I am going to use precious healing time to deal damage to an opponent, I would like to make sure I am getting the required mana back. Allow me to state that none of these specs are set in stone. This is just a given baseline to help you understand how the specs work. As a Resto Shaman, you are able to adjust your specs and talents to how you best see fit. Feel free to play around with your specs until you get something you really like and appreciate. In order to demonstrate the combo style, I will go ahead and record as much and show as much as possible by using the spec during the first boss on the Hour Twilight dungeon. First basic requirement, always have Shield at max on the tank. This is a given, rather you are doing the combo spec or different styles.
The end of all things. You cannot stop it. You are nothing.
That did not go as smoothly as I would have liked. By doing the combination, I was unable to focus more on healing, therefore, a member of the party died. Forgive me for I decided not to use the combo strategy to finish the Hour Twilight dungeon. The combo strategy is tricky for heroics, but I would say, based off my personal experience, it does work well with higher gear score and during raids. Allow me to show you a plausible scenario. This will show how you can use the damage from the lightning bolts and shock spells to increase your restoration abilities. I will currently be using these 4 random players who happen to be sitting here next to the, the dummies in Stormwind.
Not enough mana.
The reason why I did that at a low mana pool was to demonstrate the effectiveness of using the lightning bolt to increase your mana with the turlic currents ability. I also tried to apply the shock spell as often as I could, but through demonstration through my lower mana, I was able to show that even though you can increase your healing, it is best to use the shocks when you have a higher mana pool versus a lower mana pool. I'll go ahead and finish the combo strategy segment with a list of pros and cons. Able to use Lightning Bolt to regain mana, allowing you a sense of ease to use the higher mana cost restoration spells. Using the shock spells to increase the effectiveness of your next heal by an additional 30%, similar to that of your Unleash the Elements, with the weapon enchant Earth Living. The same effect also reduces the mana cost of your next healing spell, based off how much the shock costs. which can cause your Riptide and your Healing Wave to no longer cost mana. Works out great in large raids, and this would most likely be the easiest strategy to do with a healing add-on, such as Healbot or Voodoo. Now for the cons or negative side to using this restoration strategy. It can be difficult to do heroic dungeons, but not impossible. Best used at a higher gear score closer to endgame content. This strategy will also take the most time to get used to. Which brings us to our final concern, the human error. Someone might be more focused on dealing damage to increase their healing instead of using that time to heal someone in need. Now let's move on to the final Resto Shaman healing spec strategy, the Support Shaman. To classify as a Support Shaman, it is required that you have Resurgence, Improved Cleanse Spear, which allows you to remove a magical effect from a friendly target, Cleansing Waters, which heals the target after removing a harmful effect, Ancestral Awakening, Mana Tide Totem, and Tidal Waves. What could possibly be so special about the talents I just mentioned? Well, it's simple. Simple, mana efficiency. The strategy is mana efficient because you are focusing more on the two spells, Healing Wave and Greater Healing Wave, which has a chance, due to Resurgence, to restore the most mana. This is where Tidal Waves come in. After casting a Riptide, your next two Healing Waves and Greater Healing Waves will have their speed increased by 30%. Therefore, you can easily cast these on either the same target or a different target to restore their hit points without using very much mana at all. I place importance on Cleansing Waters because the amount heal actually varies depending on your spell power. Also, if you're going to use the mana to remove a defect from somebody, you might as well get a free heal out of it. Why is Ancestral Healing so important as a Support Shaman? Well, when you critically strike with a single target direct healing spell, another member of the group will be healed for 30% of the amount healed. And since your three main spell focuses happen to be Riptide, Healing Wave, and Greater Healing Wave, you'll have maximized Ancestral Awakening's effectiveness every time you critically heal. So, the overall benefit of using the Support Shaman strategy is mana efficiency and the ability to easily train yourself to lower Cataclysm regulars and heroics. Added bonuses from removing harmful effects from raid members will allow other healers in their raid to focus more on their overall healing. Here are the negative sides to the Support Shaman strategy. There is a fairly good chance that you will not be on top of the healing charts. Your heals per second will not reflect your healing done. Your healing done will more be focused on keeping the raid members at maximum health. That way, when a bigger attack or AoE takes place, your fellow healers, whether they be druids, priests, paladins, or other shamans, can get them up to maybe 80%. That way, you will be able to keep everyone else alive at maximum health. The final problem is human error. If you've been using this strategy for lower gear score healing, you might be afraid to try it on more challenging raids and instances. The overall strategy does not change from lower to higher end gear score as a Support Shaman. Your main strategies would still include Riptide, but at a higher end gear score you probably have better mana regeneration so that you could easily throw out chain heals and healing raids without worrying too much about your mana. The Support Shaman strategy emphasizes on using Healing Wave and Greater Healing Wave, as well as Riptide. Healing Wave only costs 1982 mana, which, when you critically strike, would end up getting an additional 300 mana back. So, by simply relying on combining the speed of Tidal Waves with Riptide, you'll be able to distribute your heals more quickly. So, rather than focusing on dealing damage to a target in order to restore mana, you can just cast more healing spells. I don't recommend completely ignoring Chain Heal and Healing Rain. Just with the support shaman strategy, you are not as heavily reliant on them because you are able to get out your healing and greater healing waves out faster. I've tried my best not to mention glyphs during the making of this video to see if you, the viewer, would be more interested in making your own conscious decision. But, as a support shaman user, I would like to give this word of advice. Glyph of Water Shield will increase your passive regeneration by 50%. This will be very useful if you're using the support shaman strategy because you will gain additional mana back just for sitting there. I would also like to recommend Glyph of Healing Wave. When you cast Healing Wave on a target, you will be healed for 20% of the amount that that person was healed. It's a logical choice because Healing Wave is a low mana spell, and having the spell heal you will help you save more mana. I would like to thank you for taking time to watch this video on the 4 popular Resto Shaman healing strategies for the Cataclysm expansion. The goal of this video was not to change people's minds on how they should heal as a Resto Shaman, but to simply educate them on the 4 popular strategies currently being used by their other fellow shamans. Allow me to remind you, I only introduce you to the basic ideas and possible layouts for each strategy. The only requirements for your healing specs, should you decide to use one of these strategies, would be the key factors that I mentioned earlier in the video that would classify you as a shocker, a bolter, a comboer, or support. Once again, allow me to thank you for watching this video. My name is R.I. Taylor, and I have been a Resto Shaman for over 4 years. I enjoy introducing and showing people ways to heal as a Resto Shaman. Thank you again for watching, and may the elements guide you to victory.